it's Lori from Wild Pony Designs. I just wanted to say thank you for joining me and joining my channel. If you haven't already, subscribe and get notifications when I go live with Barb and when I do sew-alongs like this. This is a pre-recorded video, and I'm doing today the Monica carry-all bag from Rosa Patterns. And this is an absolutely gorgeous bag, guys. Look at that. This is a shoulder bag, so there's no crossbody, but it's absolutely beautiful. Now, I've made this out of croc, brown croc, and on the inside, this bag has 2 slip pockets on either side of the center pocket, and you can see those are croc as well. And then when you open it up, you've got this lovely linen look lining and a huge inside space. So it's got 2 slip pockets on this. It's got a zipper pocket on this side, nice big deep zipper pocket. Hold my phone for sure. And then on the other side, I've got 2 slip pockets, big slip pockets. This is a fantastic bag. It'll hold a ton of stuff. So if you travel or if you go to work every day, if you commute, this will be the bag for you. So grab a coffee, sit down and enjoy this video. I think it's going to be a little bit of a long one. This was a very interesting bag to make. A lot of steps. Look how nice she turned out. I'm just thrilled. So let's get into it right away. The Monica Carry-On by Rosa. All right, guys, this is a big bag. It's going to take up most of the room on my sewing table, so I've kind of moved my camera a little bit back so we can kind of see what's going on. But right now we're going to be working on the main panel front and back. I have already put my purse feet on. Let's just follow the directions for the purse feet. I've already installed my Peltex and a layer of Deckerville Light because this is quite a structured bag, so I followed those directions. And now we're just going to sew this bottom on. It takes up my whole table. I'm trying to make this bag as structured as possible. I like the structured look of this. There are options in the pattern for less structured, depending on what interfacing you choose to use. I'm going to check my seam allowance on here. I think it's 3/8. Let me look. There's lots of pre-sewing things you can do. Lots of marking, lots of interfacing. And I've done that on some of my pieces just to save a little bit of time. But when you go through the pattern, just take the time to do the pre-sewing steps. It makes a big difference. We're going to top stitch and we're going to press the seam allowance towards the bottom. So I want that seam allowance to be on this side. You can see, maybe a little bit far away. Making sure my seam is towards the bottom. Okay, I've already attached my label. You can do it in the center of the bag, but I decided to do it at the bottom. Okay, we're going to go around and do the other side. Make sure your centers are marked. Marked at the top, yep, thank you. centers. And stitch it from the other side. I just feel like it would be better stitching from the firmer side. Sometimes if you have a softer material and the firmer, it's nice to have the firmer on top. Kind of holds everything together. And the top stitch again. Seam going to the bottom. It's a lot of bag. Okay, and that is our front and back panel in the bottom. And I've got 5 feet on here because it's a good size bag. Like right now this panel is like almost 19 inches across, but it'll get smaller as we sew everything together, but it's a good size bag. Okay, put that aside and we'll see what's next. So one thing I decided to do, I really wanted to do the super structured bag. So I decided to go ahead and add my Decaville light. I could have done it before, but I've added it after. I really want this to be super structured. And another thing I did is I just trimmed back some of the seam allowance on the bottom. Just on the bottom, just peel this back and trim the seam allowances so I have a little bit of less bulk on there. Okay, now we're going to go through to the next section, which is the body bags exteriors. I'll show those to you. Just grab them. Sorry, I'm out of camera. They're behind me. Now there is some prep work on these for sure. And I'll refer you to the pattern to find out. But there is a lot of lines that need to be drawn on, some measurements that need to be made. Same with here. So this is the other inside piece. So there's measurements, and she tells you exactly how to place the Decaville light for this particular structure of this bag. So that's what we're going to do next. Now this piece also has here some double-sided tape on it. And there's a lot here. it's big. So we're going to attach this. Let's even do it here on my table. I might have to. We're going to need some rulers. And I might need some big clips just to kind of hold it in place, because it's a lot. Now we have our centers marked here. I think we need to put the centers on this one too, which I haven't done yet. Okay, so I've done that. So we've got this piece right side up. This is the bag body exterior and the interior main panel, which is this one here. So we're going to line that up. This is going to take me a little bit to do here. Need a sticky magnet ruler. Try this way. I'm having trouble here. 3/4. There we go, right there. So that needs to be right there. That's going to not work. It'll work this way though. And I have placed that she's got a place that we mark double-sided tape as well, and that's on there as well. Let me do that. I'm going to go to the other side. And mark that as well. There. It's hard to do because it wants to fall off the table. Let me go. I'm gonna have to go put this on my cutting table. I'll be right back. Okay, that was just a little bit easier to do on my flatter, bigger work surface. So now there's double-sided tape under this. So once you lay it down, you roll up one side, take the tape off, roll it back, get all your measurements correct, and then go to the other side, take your tape off, and then roll that side out and double check so that it's adhered. So there's double-sided tape just along here, because we're going to sew now around this box that we've drawn on according to the lines in the pattern. And we're going to do that. I'm going to leave my clips in. I think that will be easier. I'm going to end right on that line. If I have to adjust my stitch length by hand, I will. I'm going to make sure it's right on the line. Oops, I'm sewing around the wrong line. Just a minute, hold please. I have to go back. I sewed on this line. I should have sewed on this line, so I'm just going to go fix that. Okay, let's put that on. We're having some good rain at the moment. Take these clips off now. That's all done. Okay, more stitches. That goes up pretty easy. That part won't show anyway, so we're good. Okay, now we're going to cut a big hole in our bag. We're going to cut out this rectangle that we just sewed, and we're going to leave about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance around. So I'm just going to fold it in half, get some good scissors. Use some, oops, tools around, as usual. Not cut into the stitches, just around. We have a big hole in our bag. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch around these lines that we've drawn. These will be the hidden pockets on the bag at the front of the bag. I'm going to do a little bit, I think I'm going to do a little bit of decorative heavy there. Have any left? Let me see if I have any left here. Let me go get a little piece because that's going to pull right there. And I just want a little bit of extra stabilization for my stitches. So let me just cut a little bit of decorative heavy for my scraps. I just like to put that little bit of extra structure there where I know it's going to get pulled on. So I'm just going to cut out a little piece. Just really need these big scissors, I guess. Put those over there. I'm going to put one at each end where the stress will be on the pocket. May not need to do it, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Like right here where we start and stop. I'm just going to go back and redo that. Right over the seam line. Okay. Okay, that's one side. Now we're going to do the other side as well. Just the same way. You can see how I've added just that little bit of, see, because this is going to be a hidden pocket, and that's definitely going to pull on there where the threads are when we have used that pocket. So that's why I want that there. This side up. rid of all my extras. Okay, and this is what it looks like so far. We've got our pocket sewn. We've got those two pieces together. Let's see what we have to do next. Oh yeah, we're going to do a little line down here at the bottom. I have a pen that I can see on here. I wonder if this silver one will work. Nope, not really. Let's see. Maybe this one will. We need a little tiny square on the bottom of these corners. It's basically a seam allowance square. Yep, I can see that. And we're just doing it on this inside panel. Okay, so we've done a little tiny square. You see that we've drawn that little square there. Now we need the other piece here, exterior piece. Let me just go put this all together at my cutting table. Basically, we're going to be sewing it onto here. That's what we're going to be doing. So let me go to my cutting table and get this just right now. I'll come back to you. Okay, I've got you over here at my cutting table, so I can show you this a little bit better. You can see how big this is. So what I've done is I've taken the exterior main and the pieces that we just worked on, and we're going to center them here. I just want to make sure I've got this the right way up. Let me just double check. Clip. Yes, I have this the right way up. So we've got the right side of the fabric here. Can you see me right here? And so what I'm doing is I'm just centering it on here, and I'm just going to measure I'm just using my purse foot for kind of a guide so I know where to. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to take our clips and we are going to clip these two pieces together, matching our center marks. And I'll bring you back when I've got it all clipped. Okay, it's a good thing I checked. We're going to be actually clipping not to this outside piece, but to this inside piece. So this is going to be kind of get tucked out of the way. So we're going to just kind of fold that up and get it out of the way, and we're going to attach to there. So it looks kind of weird, but that's what we're going to do. So just that piece all the way along. I'm sorry that's not the best shot for you guys. Get my arm in the way. So we've got that piece kind of tucked up out of the way. Same with this one, just tuck it up out of the way. Whatever works for you. Now, and she does it all at once, but I think I'm going to do a side at a time. So I'm going to clip this. And I'm going to sew this side. I'll bring you over there. Okay, so I'll go back to the machine and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so I'm back at the sewing machine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sew our seam allowance, but we are not going to sew past that little 3/8 mark that we did there. So that box is going to be left open. So we're going to start our stitches at that 3/8 mark that we made in that little box. Just making sure that the other piece is tucked out of the way. I'm just going to put my needle right down in that corner. Take your time because it's a lot to hold on to. Just making sure you're not catching that other piece underneath. Just feel it only with your hands. You can see I've kind of got it down here out of the way. Coming up to the bottom seam, just make sure you don't push that in the wrong direction. And I'm going to stop right at a little box. There. See that very well. See how I start and stop right at our little box there. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing all the way around to the rest of the sides, and it's going to look weird, but we're going to do it. But I'll come back when I've done all that. So this is what we've got so far. I'm working on the corners, and I'll show you how we do the corners. So this is what we've sewn our edges around. I've done some of the corners. I'm going to show you how to do the last one. So this is our bag now. We've got the corners that look like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to miter these corners. So we're going to line up where we sewed. We're going to line up along that seam. I'm going to lay it down flat on my table. Let me just get it in the right position here. Put a little couple of clips in here to hold it while I'm flipping it around. Okay, got it on the table. So now what we need is we need a 45-degree angle along, you can't really see, can you? We need a 45-degree angle. So we're going to take, we want this side of the pocket to be I'm lining it up with the ruler on my table. So I'm taking my 45-degree angle on my little ruler and running that along the edge, and I'm lining it up to where we stopped our stitches before. And now I'm going to draw a line, just holding everything in place. And I'm going to start where we stopped our stitching before. Let me do that again. Kind of slipped on me a little bit. It's always I feel like there's something lumpy on the other side. Anything lumpy. Maybe I shouldn't have done the super structured one. Okay. That's better. She does show you how to do this very well in the patterns, which is a little bit easier to see than me doing it here. Okay, we have drawn a line, and I'm going to sew it while I've got it in my hand, and I'll show it to you in a second before I move everything and it slips again. We just put the needle down where we stopped, sewing the side seams. Okay. And go straight down the line. Okay, so that was basically mitered the corners, is what we've done. See, that's all the way around. All the corners are mitered like that. And this one I stapled because it wanted to slip on me. So use staples, use clips, whatever you need to do. We're going to cut these corners off anyway, so you don't really have to worry about taking your staples out. Okay, now we're going to trim the corners and leave this a good seam allowance. Careful not to catch any of the rest of the bag. Don't want to. Okay, we've done that, and then we're going to trim this one up a little bit. And we're going to a little bit so that it folds down nicely. Let me measure. Let me just get my measurements right here before I tell you what to do. Okay, so what we're doing is we've trimmed off this corner. And then what I did, I just followed my stitching line going up and going across. And basically we're going to cut out that little V of fabric. It's probably not too clear there because I'm so far away, but we're going to cut out just that little corner there. So careful not to cut into the stitches. But just is going to give us a little bit more room. It's going to be nicer to flatten the seams because we want to flatten all these seams, and we're going to turn everything. So I'm just checking to make sure I can flatten my seams good. See this one? Yep, that one's good. So we're going to be flattening all these seams. That one looks good. That one looks good too. Careful not to cut into your seams. Make sure that's, I just want to make sure that's sewn right where it should be. That one looks good. Yep. Okay, I'll go on to the next step. I'm just going around making sure everything's good. Take off my pointy corners because we're going to want to lay these seams flat. I'm just making sure that my seams have all come together and I haven't missed anything there because I don't want any holes when I turn it. And now we're going to put double-sided tape down both these sides. I think I need my thinner one. Let me see. Oh, this one should work. And we're going to double-sided tape and we're going to lay our seams open, flat, and open. Okay, come back when that's all done. Okay, I've got my corners seams all opened. I've got double-sided tape on them. And I've got them nice and flat. And I did some of them with my, some of them aren't going to stick, so I'm going to use my seam roller and just roll those seams. And now what we're going to do, we're actually going to go around the whole bag and we're going to put a lot of double-sided tape and we're going to flatten these seams out. We're going to put double-sided tape on the first thing, flatten them out, and then we're going to do it again on this side. So all our seams will be flattened in this direction. Flat, flat, flat. That's what we want. I have to go over to my cutting table to do this because I don't have room here. Okay, I have here at my cutting table, and I've put double-sided tape, and I have flattened all of these seams right here. So there's double-sided tape on both seams. And now what she wants us to do, because we absolutely don't want these seams to lift in any way at all, is she wants us to use duct tape on this bag. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around and duct tape anywhere there's a seam. I hope. I'm going to start up here. I think I'll just cut that piece. And I want to make sure these open. We're going to leave about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge because we want a top stitch. We don't want our duct tape to be in our top stitch. So I'm going to go around first and do my corners. making sure that everything's laying flat when I taped it down, and we really want these things to be flat, these mitered corners. Again, I'm flattening out my mitered corner and putting my duct tape down on my seam a good 1/4 inch away, and I'm going to make sure that these are flat underneath. I don't want anything sticking up, because the flatter it is, the easier it will be. Now I'll duct tape in between, and I'll get this seam down flat as well. I don't know if I have enough on here. Let's see. Yep, I do. Okay. Open on the other side. See, these have already popped open, so that's why we're going to use the duct tape. Flattening those corners. The big challenge is always finding the end of your tape. See how these ones are already, these ones here, where this bottom is, see how those are standing up already? Can you see that? That's not what we want. We want them flat, flat, flat. So I'll take my time going over those and making sure those are flat. Okay, I'm going to do this long side. See how much tape we have left. As I go along, I'll just be careful to make sure everything's nice and flat. Feel it with my hand. Keep an eye out for that seam right there. It wants to stand up for sure. There we go. Same with that one. Make sure it's down. Yeah, that's the end of my duct tape. I got a button stuck to that piece. It's quite an interesting bag. I've never made anything like it. Very, very interesting. I'm just going to give it a good press. And now, I'm supposed to be able to turn it inside out. So let's see how that works. I'll come back to you when I've got it turned inside out. Okay, that definitely took a hot minute to get that turned. I'm just working on my corners. Poking out all my corners. Nice, sharp corners. I like to use a chopstick sometimes. See, now we have those nice mitered corners. This one here. That looks really good. Okay, so that's kind of what we've got. We've got these mitered corners, and that's going to be, it's going to go like this. We're going to have these nice slip pockets in here. And we'll put structure in here after we get everything together. But that's kind of, so you can see it's a good size bag for sure. It looks kind of weird at the moment, not floppy, but it won't be when we're done. Okay, well, let's go on to the next step. That's everything turned. Looks good. Right, guys, we're going to be working on the side panels. And what we're going to do is we're going to clip our exterior kind of out of the way, so that's not in the way of where we want to sew. I am going to use the stapler. I've got my side panel piece, and I'm going to staple, because I think that's going to be easier because it's a big piece, and I think that's going to be way easier. So we're going to basically kind of tuck the exterior out of the way. And we're going to line up our centers, and I'm going to put a couple of staples in. So just make sure if you're going to staple, that you don't staple in the seam allowance. That way when you trim, you can just take your staples out. And before I go any further, I like to go to the top and staple the top. Make sure the tops are lined up. Every time I let go, it wants to move. I might clip it a little bit first. Just to put some clips in so I can staple in between. Okay, that's at least holding it for me. I think I need more hands. Go to the other side. I'm just going to staple this side. I feel like if I can get a few staples in, it will hold it. All of the insides have to be tucked in, and that's what's kind of time consuming, because you've got to get it kind of in and out of the way. So I'm working my way down the sides, stapling as I go. It's kind of hard for you guys to see. I've got to redo my bottom staples, they came out. Work your curves in. And work your curves in on the other side. I think my clips have come out. Yep, they have. Let's clip that one again. I think we flew out on the floor somewhere. Grab a couple more here. Maybe no, it'll be better if I put two in. See, I've just kind of clipped my exterior out of the way. Can't do that really with the bottom. I'll just take that out of the way. On the curve here. corner. It does fit together really well. It's very well written. Okay. On the bottom. Okay, I have 43,000 clips on the floor today, which is nothing new for me. Sometimes think I have more clips on the floor than I do in my box. Okay, just grab those, get them out of my way. Okay, now we're going to work our way around here. I just want to double check my seam allowance. Yep. It's going to be a little bit hard for you guys to see, but I'll do my best. I wonder if I brought the camera around. Let me just have a look. Close your eyes. Let me just stop the camera and I'll see if I can get a better view. Maybe from the front it might be a better view. Hang on a second. How is that? Is that a little bit better for you guys? A little bit crooked. But that might be a little bit better. Sorry for the camera movement. I'm not an expert. Okay, let's give this a go. Oh, I gotta change thread. I was sewing with Barb this morning and I don't think I want to sew this with purple thread. Hang on a second. Okay, I think it's going to look a little bit better with the right color thread. Okay, let's start that again. I love purple, but purple and brown, not so much together. Is that a little bit better? Let me see. Move you up just a little bit. There we go. I'm not catching the insides at all on my bottom. You can kind of feel it. Just taking my time, trying to lift the bag a little bit as I go. Not getting caught or anything. Either way, I'm not sure you guys are going to see much. It's just so big. So let me just move along here a little bit with it and get it out of the way so we can see it a bit better. Shifted there on me a little bit. My staple came out. I just want to grab it and pull it over. There we go. There we go. I'm not sure that camera angle made any difference. Sorry, guys. Okay, here's the side on. Just gonna have a little look in that and make sure it's okay. I'm gonna turn it inside out and I'll show you. Okay, I've turned it inside out. This is kind of what it looks like. It's still all floppy, and there's my ends. And before I take out all of my staples, I just want to inspect my side, make sure I didn't miss anything, make sure there's no puckers. And it looks pretty good. So the sides on this bag, I've done the other one so you can see it together. So the sides on this bag stick out. And they come out like this. You see that? So that's the stage that we're on there. Now I'm going to turn this right sides in, inside out again. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to take out all of my staples and I'm going to trim down my seam allowance, and I'm going to leave the seam allowance at the top so we can get our seams spread out of the way. So I'll get back to you when I've done that. I guess I'm still filming, so I'm just taking my staples out. I'm trimming all the way around. Some of them are too close. Just a little bit closer than what I want. I'm not trimming it right at the top because I want to open those seams. Okay, there we go. Fine. And if I can, to go around it with a little bit of, I'm going to fix a little seam here that's awfully close. It's a bit too close for me, so I'm just going to go around it again. I don't like the way that trims, so I'm just going to be really careful. Just go over it a little bit. I felt like I trimmed it just a bit too close. Okay, now I'm going to take my pinky shears. I can find them in here. Got so many orange handle scissors. Here they are. I found them. And if you have space, I don't think I'm going to do that because mine looks pretty good actually. Looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it inside out, and then we're going to go and work on the lining. All right, we're going to work on the lining of this great Monica carry-all. I'm going to do the lining. I'm going to do mine just a little bit different. I've decided I want a piece of trim on the top of my lining, so I'm going to sew my lining and turn it and then put a piece of trim on. So I like that look. It's a big enough bag too that you can do that with it easy. So I'm going to go sew up and down the sides. It's a big bag. Pieces are everywhere. Just going to trim my corners. I want to turn it. Down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to turn this now. Corners poked out. Get my corner cookie thing. My official name, the corner cookie thing. This lining that I'm using today is like a waterproof linen canvas, and it's from Sew Yours. I love the look of it. It's kind of a tweedy, has a tweedy look to it. That's just water from my iron. That corner looks good. I want all of that poked out. I don't want unsquare corners. Nice square corners. I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to spin around here and give this a little press, so I've got good edges here. Just going to do that. You can iron on this, which is really nice. A little bit of steam makes it soft. And along the bottom. Just gives it a little bit of a crisper edge. Now I'm going to top stitch along here. Just at 1/8. Now I'm going to take my trim piece, put a line down the middle. I'm going to put double-sided tape on both sides. I'm going to take off one side. Oops, what's underneath there? Something underneath there. And I'm going to I'm going to line that up with the center line. Press it down, and then I'm going to turn the other side over. And press down on that. And I'm going to clip it. You can feel, make sure it's even. It should be with the line. Okay, I'm going to top stitch from the raw edge. And I'm just going to trim off the overhang at the end. We have a nice edge to our pocket. It's nicer than just a raw edge, I think, sometimes. Okay, I'm going to find my centers on here. And at the bottom. See how far down we have to go on this. Because I don't have any magnets or anything, I'm actually going to, oops, I missed the spot there. Is it going to show? Nope, it's not going to show. I'm going to sew over it anyway. I'm going to put a little bit of double-sided tape. On the back side, just to kind of hold it in place for me while I stitch it down. Just a little bit. I don't need to tape the whole thing, just a little bit. Bigger ruler. Okay, that's that there, where it should be. Now, if you want a pen pocket or if you want just 2 slip pockets, that's up to you. I think I'm just going to do 2 slip pockets. My little pieces of Decaville. Cut myself a few more. Okay. I always like to put a little piece of Decaville right underneath where I'm going to start my stitches. I think that helps with pulling because that's where it's going to get pulled a lot when you use your slip pockets. get to the end, I'm going to put my little piece underneath again. And we'll go up the middle. I'll draw a little line for that. It's a big space. If it was a little pocket, I could eyeball it, but I don't want to attempt that with this one because it's kind of a big pocket. See, and that's what it looks like on the back with a little bit of extra decorative light. It's just a stress point, and I just like to put that there for the stress point. I'm just going to trim a little bit of the excess away. And these are just little pieces. These are just scraps from leftovers that I cut out. Otherwise, they end up going in the garbage. So this is a great way to use up little bits and pieces. Okay, now we have this really nice slip pocket. You can make the slip pockets however you want, but this is big enough my phone will fit in it. And that's usually what I put in a slip pocket anyway. So that's the slip pocket with a little bit of trim. Okay, now we'll move on to the zipper pocket. And we do this piece. And this piece. And the zipper. Let's get my zipper pull on. I'm using this cute little zipper pull for the inside. I'm really weird about my zippers. I like them to line up every time. So sometimes it takes me a little bit to get them perfect. There. There's my zipper pull. Which way is 8? That's the top one, I think. Oh, this is just a regular pocket, the way we always make them. I'm going to put a little staple in the end. I'm using the longer one first, I think so. Yep. So the pocket pieces are two, one of them's half an inch shorter, so make sure you take the longer one first. just to baste it in place. Nothing to do. Shorter one. Sure, it's right in. I'm just looking to see if she has any hits that she does. I don't think so. No, she doesn't have us do this, but I like to baste my zipper open and flat. I don't think she has that in the pattern. Let me look. No, she doesn't. See, I find with this fabric, it's because it's, I don't know if that makes a difference for putting a pocket in, but I just think it lays flatter if you do that. So I'm just going to top stitch right over. I'm not making it any side. I'm just going to right over where we that 1/8. Just helps to hold the zipper flat for installing it in the zipper. Okay. Same thing on this side. Just opening it up. Zipper overlay. I just gotta figure out, let me just get that center seam. Because I'm doing the zipper overlay, I'm going to put it down about, I think about 2 inches. Yeah, I'd say about 2 inches. I'm kind of making it up, so that looks about right. Come on, tape. There we go. Just going to find my centers. Just give it a little squeeze. That looks great. Sew around the outside. Leave long tails because we're going to pull them to the back. End up right back in the hole that you started at. I'd like to finish that one off by hand so we can actually see it. Okay. And I'm going to pull those threads to the back. Sometimes it's hard to tell which is which. Oh, it's that one. There we go. Knot those off. You can't see where we stopped and started. Now we're going to trim away this inside piece. Not the overlay, just the fabric. That's why I like to make sure when I put my tape on my overlay, I like to make sure the tape is not here. I like the tape to be up here. It makes it easier to cut all this away. Okay, now we do see a little bit more tape on this side. Take our tape off. Okay, and we're going to center over our zipper. I can pull out as far as I can. I'm going to eyeball that zipper. Make sure it's kind of in the center. Actually, sometimes what you can do is just pull this. I'm going to do it so I can see the actual center of my pocket. Okay, so I'm going to fold that and just put a little crease in it. You won't see it when you're... See, I can see my little crease there now. And then I can lay my center mark up here, and I know my zipper's centered. You only leave over jigs. Still centered. Okay, and there's our perfectly centered zipper. Now we're going to sew around the inside. We're leaving the zipper pull out of the way for now. And I'm going to sew around the inside. Let's go ahead and stop where we started. Looks like I pulled a stitch through, so I'm going to go back and just do 2 more stitches. Oops, that didn't work. Try that again. Got a lot of threads on the back now. It's all in the back, so not a problem. Make sure I'm pulling on the right one. I'm not sure that I am. It might be that one. It's getting late and it's getting dark in here. And I'm working with brown. Not quite as easy to see it is during the day. get it? Nope, still didn't get it. Boy, oh boy, don't know which one this is. Let me have a look. What's that? Okay. Now I got it. Tie all these off. Looks like a lot, but look at it. Make a couple of knots. I just don't like it when there's missed stitches on the front. A little bit. Should make it a little bit easier. There we go. No, fix these ones. Alrighty, that's fitting what to do. Oh, there's a staple in there. Caught my finger. Get that out. We'll trim it all after. Right, no, let me just check to see if we're leaving the pocket open in this one. I think we are. Leaving the bottom open, yep. Okay, now we're just pulling this back, catching that zipper and sewing up the side of the pocket. I'm going to go over the zipper end a couple of times, just to make sure it doesn't look like this. Same on this side. Not a lot of zipper to trim away here, so I don't have to worry too much about it. I just don't want it to fray. Alrighty, and there we have our really pretty zipper pocket. A nice pull from Jeannie's Designs. Nice pocket, left it open. I'll just trim the excess off the bottom here, so it's even. And now let me get my other piece, and we're going to put these right sides together. And we're going to stitch along the sides. Alrighty, there we have it for now. Great lining, nice zipper pocket, and a nice slip pocket. We'll go on to the next step. Okay, now that we've got the lining done, we're going to be working on the zipper. Now, we've taken our zipper and we've taken it apart and we've done the zipper in like we normally do with a zipper. And I have marked an inch in on both sides, and we're going to start by, and I ran a piece of double-sided tape. She doesn't say that in the pattern, but it's easier for me. So we're doing this from this side here, this 1 inch in from this end. We've put our sides together and we've marked an inch in from either end. And I've kind of clipped these out of the way as best I could. Maybe I should do it on this side here. But this is all being attached to the inside part of the pocket. Okay, we're going to do right side down. I want my zipper closing this way, so make sure you start at the right end. And we're going to place our zipper along the edge here. Right sides together. And she says when we get to the end, we're going to enter the second mark. So we've made a mark on both ends. So I'm just going to mark it on here as well so I know where it is. We're going to taper the zipper away from the top edge by around 1/8. I think she means to pull it up. I'm assuming we're pulling it this way. So go right here. We're going to taper it up. Probably going to have to sew it from this side, just so it all fits. And we're just basting. Get everything under my foot. I've got my seams open on my why I use tape and not clips. Oops, let's come off here. I'll just hold it. Get close. Right there. She says just to taper it up out of the way. Got that on, so that's what it should look like. And there it is on the top. Okay, I'm going to repeat it for the other side. Okay, now that we have our zipper in, it's looking good. Now we're going to take our lining and we're going to decide which is your back. I want the zipper overlay pocket to be at the back. So here's the front of my bag. So we're going to tuck this in. Fold down those edges again because we're working with the zipper edge. And we're going to take time to clip the zipper. Clips on the floor, lovely. And we make sure that we press our exterior out of the way. Line up the sides and make sure that when you line up the sides there, you've got your centers marked and the zipper tails are down inside. sure I get it lined up perfectly. And we're just going to go around and we're going to clip all the way around. And I'll come back to you when I've got that all clipped. Okay guys, I've brought you over to my other machine, but as you can see, I've clipped all the way around. So I've got my lining on the outside, I've clipped all the way around, and now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to sew a 3/8 of an inch all the way around, making sure I don't catch my zipper tails. Let me just double check my 3/8 seam allowance so I can remember where it is. 1, 2, 3, yep, right there. Got it marked. Okay, and we're going to do that from over here. Take this table off here too. Just give me a second. I'm going to pull this bottom table off so it can hang a bit. I think that's what I want to do. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Get this stuff out of the way. Still learning this machine. I haven't had it for too long. I know you can't really see. I think that's much I can do about that. Sorry guys. Hanging on to it as I go. It should be right up, just about right up against my zipper. Just seam allowance. Taking out one clip at a time as I go around here. Make sure your zipper tails are inside. Okay, that's it. That's all the way around. Okay. I'm going to turn that inside out, and then we're going to top stitch, and I'll bring you back to this machine when I turn it all inside out. All right, guys, I've got I turned it inside out, and I've now top stitched all the way around. Not top stitched, I've clipped 2 top stitch all the way around the top. So keeping our sides out so it's a little bit out of the way so you can see it. So we've got that on there, and I'm going to start at the back so I can pull my threads through. And we're going to go top stitch. Wish I had a little bit more light here. I think that's one thing I have to get for this machine is some more light. Maybe I could move it to the other side. But we'll work with this for now. Take my time, clip by clip. Make sure we don't sew our zipper tails in. We want those loose so we can put our pull back on. I can bring you to the other side. Hang on, I'll swap you over to the other side of my machine. Maybe that's just a little bit better for you. You can see what I'm doing. I'm still learning this new setup with this new machine to see what angle is best. But I think you can see that a little bit better now. I did steam my insole. a little bit more. Okay, there's my top stitching. You see that? That's what it looks like so far. I'm just going to tie off my threads and I'll get back to the next step, and I'll see if I keep you at this camera angle. Okay, I've got you back at the cutting table here. This is where we add the extra structure for the bag. The bag is still very open at the bottom, and now we're going to add structure so that the front of the bag holds its shape like that. So this is quite, for me with my arthritic hands, it was quite a challenge, but I'm going to attempt to do it. You'll see it takes a little bit of time, and I have to pick the bags up a few times, but we're going to tuck this back down through the bottom of the hole that we did at the very beginning, and then up into here and get it up into these corners, like tight up into these corners. And then we're going to clip it because we're going to top stitch all the way around this when we get this in. So I'm going to work at this. It's going to take me a little bit because it's really quite awkward for me to get it in there. That's just me though. Might not be for you guys, but so I've just kind of folded it a little bit. Maybe too much. Once I get it, I'm trying to get it up in here. Once I get it in there, I just kind of unfold it or unroll it, I guess. I'm trying to get those corners tucked up. Corner, but my arms are barely reaching there, so let's just see where we are here. And flatten that out a little bit. I did use very thick material like I usually do, and I sometimes think I'm my own worst enemy for doing that. I don't sometimes think that this cloth vinyl is super easy to work with. I've got 2 layers of it here, so maybe it would be better with lighter fabric, I'm thinking. What I'm trying to do is get it right up into this corner. Andy did it and she made it look so easy, but I'm afraid it's not so easy for me. But I'll get it. Tell you what I'll do. I'm just gonna mess with this. There's no point in watching me fight with this, and when I get it all in there, I'll come back on. Alright guys, I accomplished it. I got all of my Peltex tucked inside my fronts here. I've clipped it all the way around. Take your time and make sure you get everything in the corners. It took me a little bit to get it. And now we're going to top stitch all the way around. And that's the next step. Hopefully you can see. This is the back. I'm going to start on the back. I'm going to go all the way around the whole bag. I think I'll do about there, maybe a little bit less. To move my chair just a little bit for this one. If that's helpful at all. I think it might be just a little bit higher. Kind of tucking the insides out of the way. Something's getting caught. There we go. Now basically we're catching the Peltex that we have tucked away in the inside, and it's going to hold it in place in the bag. On the bottom. Getting to the end, almost there. I want to do one more stitch. I'll do it by hand so it doesn't get away from me. Go slow. This is the front, so I want it to be extra straight. Sorry, I'm going nice and slow. Just making sure I'm not catching the insides at all. It's catching somewhere. Not to catch the side panel. Home stretch. On the home stretch. get too excited now. Mess it up. Almost there. Got it. Oh, and the thread broke. I think this thread back here is caught on something. That's good. At least it broke at the right time. Whew. There it is, guys. So far, so good. Top stitching all the way around, all the way along the bottom. Sides poked out. So let me get that side poked out so you can see it better. The lining on the inside is still all open, so we have to get our hands in there and even everything out. Corners poked out. That's how it's looking so far. What do you think? It's a big bag. It's going to be pretty when it's done, though. Okay, let's get on to the next step. All right, guys, we're going to finish up the lining. So what I've done here, I've pulled the lining all the way through our inside pocket, which was left open. Now I'm going to sew up the lining, and I'm going to box the corners. And I'll bring you back after that's done. All right, guys, that's it. We've got the lining done. I've got the pocket sewn. Hold it up like this, you can see inside. It's a huge bag. There's the lining. So I pulled the lining out of the zipper pocket. I then did the zipper pocket, close that up like we would normally do. So let's get that open for you. You can see. So you can see there now. It's just a big bag. That looks so nice when it's together. Look how nice that looks. Step back a little bit so you can kind of see it. This is a big bag. It's like 14.5 inches. But it looks so nice. With these nice slip pockets down here. So now we're going to work on the handles. So let me put that on the floor. And we'll follow the directions. I've made my handles, just like you would any handle, like we normally make a handle. I just want to check to make sure that my strap ends, let me turn that camera a bit so you can see better, that my strap ends are going to fit on these straps. I've not had a lot of experience with strap ends, but I think these ones are going to. Okay, here they are here. Yeah, and they do fit. I think they're going to look nice, aren't they? They're just going to add that little feature at the end of the strap to make it look pretty. So I'm going to install those. I'm going to make sure I have the best side of the strap on the top. So I'm going to look over my strap and see if there's a side that I like more than the other. And that one's about the same. I'm going to make sure that my ends are even. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim my ends because I want them to be even. If there's any top stitching there, it's not going to show anyway. That one's pretty. Let me get my little magnet for this before I lose them all here. Come back, little screws. I don't know why they're not. Would have been nice if they had given me gold screws for these. Now, I'm not going to put any glue on these. I don't want any glue to come out at all. I'm going to make my marks too on my strap. Let me get, I don't know if I have a small ruler. I had my Joey Lee ruler the other day. What did I do with it now? I found it and I've lost it again. Oh no, there it is. there it is. I would have to say these marks are probably right on for what I need. Maybe not. Will definitely give me the center, that's for sure. So this is going to be, I think, the inside of my strap. And my pen, I just had it in my hand and I've lost it already. I haven't even gone anywhere and I've lost my tool. Okay, let's just get another one then. Maybe I didn't. So we're going to measure up what it says in the pattern. Get a new hole punch. Let's see if I can get it to work. It's big. Go all the way through. Yep, I think so. I can almost not hold it in my hand. But it is pink. Okay. I just don't have the hand strength anymore that I used to. That I went through. I think what I'll do is I'll make all my marks and do it all at once. I think I can just eyeball it. I have to say that's pretty good. It's just really hard marking. I need a red marker is what I need. Maybe a white one would be better. Might be easier to see. Or silver one. Yeah, that's better. That's definitely better. I can see that one a little bit better. Okay. Okay, that's that one. Did I do that one? Yep, that one's done. She tells you what to do. That I'm just marking up her the sides that she says to do in her pattern because we're going to rivet this right to the bag. I just don't know if I should put I should probably put my ends on before I rivet it. I think that would be better. Okay, let's punch some holes. Okay, that's my holes. Hope they went all the way through. Looks like they did. Yep. Okay, now I'm going to put the ends on. Need my screwdriver. That's going to be the front. That needs to be the back. Oh dear, I think this is going to be good. These screws have a mind of their own. And once they strip, they're absolutely useless. Oh dear. And I don't have any extras at all. Let me, I'm gonna figure this out, otherwise it might take too long. I may have to get some new screws. I'll bring you back when I've got them all on. Okay, there's my straps. Look how pretty those look. You see those? At the ends? So now we're going to attach our straps here to the bag. So I have made the marks on my bag according to the pattern directions, and we're going to rivet these right onto the bag. And I don't have room to do that here, so I'm going to go over to my workbench. I'm going to rivet these on, and then I'll bring you back so we can see what it looks like when it's finished. And that's it. Then we're done. And I have some fancy corners I might put on here. I'll look at those over at the workbench and show you. But that's all that's left is these rivets, rivet the handles on, and I'll come right back and show you what it looks like finished. All right, guys, here she is. Here's the rivets. It's a big bag. So this is the Monica carry-all that we just made. I've made it out of crock, and I've got the inside pockets here. Those are also out of crock. I wanted to finish it off with some little corner accents, but I realized that my crock was just a bit too thick to try and squeeze those on. But the inside of this is fantastic. This would make a great work bag or a travel bag. Here, let me stick my computer in there. There's my MacBook. Fits in there, no problem at all. So it's a good size bag. You won't be disappointed. It's a big sew. It's not, I would say this is definitely not a beginner bag for sure. This would be very advanced. Intermediate, I would say this would be an intermediate bag or a super advanced beginner. But you can do it step by step. Look how pretty that is. Lovely shoulder bag. Doesn't that have a nice look to it? I just love it now that it's finished. And I have this, the ends are like an accent fabric. Well, that's it. The Monica carry-all bag. Go get the pattern. You'll love it, or Rosa patterns. Thank you so much for sticking with me and joining my make today. If you found me on YouTube, please go ahead and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button, leave me a comment. I'll get back to you. And I just wanted to say thank you once again for joining me and helping me not be all alone while I made this Monica carry-all bag. Thank you so much, guys. You have a great week.